Well, that's another major tournament done and dusted and in the can, which means it's time you've descended on Edgar TV so I can talk you through all the ranking changes, all the movers and shakers, and all the big stories that are going to be coming up due to the UK Open. Now, the UK Open does always provide a lot of moves in the rankings and a lot of new faces in the rankings as well. You'll see here, new against quite a few people's names. Now, if you see that, or you see a player in here without a tour card, they will disappear at the end of the year. Unless they reach it through to the top 64 in the world, they will come off of this ranking. Now, if they was to make the top 64, that would mean they would keep these positions, and also they would get a tour card. So we have seen this happen a few times, haven't we? Connor Scott's done it, Christopher Tysky's done it. We nearly had a couple of cases this year at the World Championships where that happened. But we're going to be looking at who's moved, who's sustained, and what's going on in the world of the rankings. Owen Bates is certainly playing a lot better, isn't he now? Coming back to his tour card for a second time, getting it back from the development tour after losing that. Already just shy of £9,000. A run to the third round will have helped his case in regards to that. New tour card holder, Niall Cullerton, good run for him as well to round number 4. That sees him jump a little bit in the rankings and get a good bit of prize money on the board. Couple of early exits though for players that maybe we thought was going to take a bit of a move in the rankings, the likes of Shane McGurk, who went out in his first game, the second round clash. Jimmy Van Ski also going out in his first game, and also Bo Greaves, who went down to Daryl Pilgrim, who had a good couple of runs and performances there himself. A lot of these players really rely on the UK Open in regards to getting a bit of a run together to keep hold of their tour cards, and some of the players here have kind of put themselves right into the mix with a deep run. The likes of King Barry, who moves up a few positions, should we say, up 2 places now to the world number 56, and gives himself a good opportunity now keeping his card, reaching it through to the 6th round stage. Will probably be disappointed he didn't at least reach the quarterfinals, had a massive lead on Gerwyn Price and wasn't able to cash it in. A couple of players that maybe we expected a little bit more of, Nico Springer, just not getting the results at the moment that he was getting around about this time last year. Alan Suter's been incredible on the Pro Tour, but wasn't able to add to his tally here at the UK Open. Couple of moves here though. Ricky Evans did reach it through to the 4th round stage, however, was defending a good run to the semi-finals from the previous year. That's why he drops down 5 positions, and we do get a couple of people going the opposite way. 2 Irishmen, William O'Connor and Brendan Dolan, going the right way, despite the fact Brendan Dolan lost in his first match the 3rd round. And worrying signs potentially for Brendan Dolan when you're looking ahead for him. No more worrying though than the big dropper. We knew it was coming. Now the world number 37, Dimitri van den Bergh. He lost in the opening game of this tournament for him, coming in at round number 4. That means he's picked up prize money that maybe he wouldn't have had if he was coming in an earlier round. The 4th round means that he's going to defend a little bit of that, but the winner's prize pots come off of his order of merit. He's defending £140,000 at the back end of this year and isn't picking up wins. So concerning signs here, down to 37, currently not in any of the majors as things stand moving forward, and also likely to drop out of the positions of the top 40, which means he wouldn't be in the World Championship. Now, he does have the Pro Tour to get him in there, and he would have the qualifier at the end of the year as well. But times are ticking here for Dimitri. Needs to start getting some wins on the board. So let's focus in and around the sort of top 32 positions. Raymond van Barneveld got a win, turned it around against Karel Sedlacek, but then blown aside. Kevin Doots, number 36, someone I think is trending in the right direction, doesn't have too much to defend as well in a lot of the events. He's probably going to be in events that he hasn't been in before. So I expect Kevin Doots to move upwards and trend towards that top 32. Joe Cullen finding some good form this year, defends sort of a 50-50 split, so he's okay. Peter Wright, for the first time in a long time, sees the number 1 next to his name in green. I mean, he's going the right direction back into the top 32. He probably played better than a lot of people expected. Great to see Peter Wright picking up a couple of wins. Michael Smith's form looking good. He's been playing well on the Pro Tour. Great to see him perform well as well in the UK Open. Richie Edhouse went down to Martin Lukeman. bit of a whimper of a performance really for Richie Edhouse. He's defending big money later on in the year in the European Championship, which means he could trend in the wrong direction. But been playing well on the Pro Tour. That's the main thing at the moment. He's been picking up wins and producing a few good results. But let's make a prediction in this area. Who's going to be the big mover and who's going to be the big dropper? Going up, you've got Vessel Nyman only defending 25% of his prize money from this year in all the big events. Looking at where he is at the moment, looking at what people have got to defend, he's about £100,000 away from the top 16 as things stand. I think he's going to go in the top 16 within this year. Certainly if he can pick up a couple of wins on the TV. Dave Chisnell, on the other hand, could be going the opposite way. He's the one who's defending the big prize money here. 58% of his prize money, £220,000. The likelihood is Dave Chisnell comes out the top 32. It looks almost certain right now. But looking in and around that top 16, that's where everyone wants to be. The perks, the benefits, all those extras that you get for being in there, including the seeding into those big major events. And we can see there's a bit of a battle for those positions at the moment. Gerwyn Price has gone up another place due to Gary Anderson dropping down 3. Gerwyn Price has run to the semi-final. Danny Noppert once again in the back end of an event. And he's regularly picking up big TV runs. He is closing in on those top 4 positions, and if he can keep picking up results like he is, could be a serious contender. A couple of flip-flopping of positions here a little bit lower down. Aspinall switching with Ross Smith, Searle switching with Doby. Nothing of too much significance at this end of the top 16. And do you know what? That's sort of how this event felt. We know the UK Open is traditionally not the highest paid event, which means there's not that much movement at the very top, but all the top players were getting through. Like, most of the top 16 were avoiding each other until the latter rounds. There was no real surprise shock run of anyone hitting the latter stages. So there's not really too much in regards to players challenging those top positions. Now, before we get into the top of the rankings, I've got to say, hit the subscribe button and come here tomorrow. I am releasing a video on Monday, the 9th of March, that you really want to see. Trust me, this is not clickbait. If you're a dart player, you need to see this video. Right, moving on. Stephen Bunting goes down 1 position. That's due to the run of James Wade. We'll get to that in a moment. Josh Rock, though, is moving in the right direction all the time. A great run to the semi-final here. He'll probably be disappointed that he didn't get any further. That game kind of reminded me of the game in Blackpool, the World Match Play. Josh Rock bursting into an early lead, wasn't able to sustain it towards the end. And the worst part about this for Josh Rock is not the fact he just burst into the early lead and lost it, but this was a shorter format than that game in the World Match Play. So no doubt some disappointment here for Rock, but great signs to him, who hasn't been playing, well, he's been playing well in the Premier League, but he hasn't been getting results. Great to see him getting some results here. Could give him the confidence now going forward. A 3rd major final within a 12-month cycle for James Wade. Back-to-back finalists now at the UK Open. Chuck in there, the World Match Play as well. All of those finals lost to Luke Littler. That'll be the disappointment for him. But James Wade up 2 further positions and not too far away now from the world's top 4. We know Michael van Gerwen is defending a huge amount of money this year. The runner-up of the World Championship is on the line. Over £400,000 of Michael van Gerwen's money, which means a position in the top 4 could come open. I do believe that's probably the way James Wade gets in the Premier League, but certainly now he is once again in that conversation. Another big final. Michael van Gerwen, 6th round defeat. He's got to look over his shoulder, you feel, this year. But look at Luke Humphries in 2nd position, 1.2 million. Now that's interesting. Luke Littler, the world number 1, now sits 2,961,000 off the back of going back-to-back at the UK Open. Now, what makes that really interesting is if you take £2 million off a Luke Littler's Order of Merit, he is still the world number 2, only beaten by Luke Humphries. That is astonishing. We were talking not long ago, will Luke Littler be the first player to reach, or be a player to reach the 2 million mark, to reach the 2.5? We're now talking Luke Littler hitting the £3 million mark in 2-year rolling defending prize money. That is crazy. I will be following that journey. I'll be seeing if it happens right here on Edgar TV. You just hit the subscribe. And you want to know what else makes this astonishing? The fact he's not doing all the European tours and missing a lot of the Pro Tours as well. bonkers. Domination of the sport right now in the hands of the nuke. I will catch you tomorrow for that video you don't want to miss.